Right, day one of the new dirty water pit is a go. We are off. It's actually my second load, just sort of finding our feet, what we're doing. But we got a 20-ton swing shovel. It might be bigger than that actually. I think it's a 20-ton shovel. We have broken ground. We've got Rosie taking pictures, and then we've got myself and Rob on some dump trailers. She picked this one up from our contractor's yard at the end of last week. Project Dirty Water Lagoon 2025 is officially on. Now, as and when I get a little bit more time, or when we get into the routine of what we're doing, I will jump out and take some pictures and video and show you what is happening. But right now, we're going to go and tip our second load. I'll show you what we're doing with the soil at the moment, and we will go from there. But yes, exciting times on the farm. Also very exciting, this morning we dried off another 51 cows. There's 51 less to milk tonight. I think that takes us to 153 cows dry and 175 in milk, 174 in milk. We've got a little bit of a road trip. You'll see exactly where we're going to when we get there, and I'll tell you the plan. We'll probably meet Rob somewhere on the road as well. Right, here we go. This is the pile of soil. So that is 3 loads, believe it or not. We've got number 4. I don't know if you can see it very well on the camera, but there's a big ravine here in the field. So we're going to fill this big gully in. Back up to this pile. Tip her out, Jeff. Probably water, maybe one of that. It's still pretty warm this week. Lovely simple dump trailer. This has just got chains on the side that flick the back door open as it goes up. It's lovely and steep. Then you haven't got to fart around doing any back door back up. Chuck it in, float, and off you go. So you might recognise where we are from first cut silage. We call it the park. It's right beside the cricket club here. It's got a lovely big house overlooking it, and it's actually all getting sprayed off and reseeded because of autumn. It's currently 85 animals over here. The ones that you would have seen us flooping on another video. I'm actually in Little Red, smaller than McCormick's. You can tell that because the back window doesn't seal, so I get all the back end noise, which is nice. As I was saying, anyway, this is like 40 acres in this field. It's all getting sprayed off later when we finish grazing it and reseeded this year. So thought that is a good opportunity to fill in any of the low spots, especially as there's some soil going free now as well. Yeah, this is going to be my view for the next however many days or weeks that we're bringing soil over here. Yeah, let's head back. Here we go then, sports fans. There is the start of the new lagoon. It's going to take up the majority of this paddock we're in. It's going to be a big old thing. Doesn't take long to fill that trailer with that digger. That is something. So there's the old ditch for reference. For anyone that's not watched any of the videos so far, I'll take you over there in a minute or later on. Yeah, in comparison, the new one is going to be ginormous. I think we're going 60 by 40 rather than, I don't know what that is, probably like 4 by 60. Here comes the boss man. Look at this already. We have got ourselves an Olympic-sized swimming pool here, nearly. Look at that for a pad. See which way the wind's blowing. Like London buses. You're just going to drive at me now. Thank you, Rob. Martin's made pretty quick work of this. I'll get in here later and show you. You can see the old ditch over there, but he's basically piled a load of topsoil that side. I don't really have time to do a lot of filming at the moment because he's so quick loading us. I've got to get on. It's only like half a dozen bucketfuls and that is the trailer full. There's a big trailer and there's a big bucket. There I'll put another one on the front and then pat that down. And I think it's quite helpful that me and Rob are sort of running together, because then he goes over the other side by the old ditch, scrapes off the topsoil there and piles it up the other side, ready to go back on top of that ditch when that's been filled. I don't really know. We'll find out as we go along. Right, that's going to be me full, I reckon. Well, we've been stopped in our tracks by a herd of cows. Rich is just getting them in. He's only just behind the tree there with the Land Rover, so he's nearly got them all. I've lost Rob for a minute. He's decided to go and tip his soil a bit further away now, so I'll keep ahead of him a little bit. Gives Martin a chance to catch up and build up a bit of soil on the digger anyway. Yeah, only 174 cows now. I say only, still a lot of cows, isn't it? Yeah, roughly half of what we would normally milk. All looking pretty good going across the crossing. The beauty of this is there was a car here waiting just as they started coming across. So because I'm sat here anyway, I managed to jump out and just stand in the gap there, let the car across the grid. They can carry on. No harm done to anyone. I'll get out and shut the gates now. I want it on the record, he is cheating. He is cheating. He's going a shorter distance than I am. Tipping in random holes in the field. That is the undercut. That is like an F1 pit stop undercut, that is. Just dumped it in the middle of those stinging nettles. Damn it. Well, it's now about 4:10. We are still rocking on. Both of us bringing it all over the park still. We've actually had a couple of showers of rain this afternoon. Forgot what those were for a minute. Just slowed down a little bit here, leaving the park because there's a bit of a rough spot, and then there's a pretty horrible junction to pull out on, which you might have seen earlier in the GoPro on the trailer. Safely negotiated through there. This corner is, well, it's not even a corner, is it? This junction is horrible, left-handed. I want it on the record that was very unsportsmanlike conduct. It was like an undercut pit stop. Yeah. They've gone for the undercut.
With the brakes flat out.
Yeah, damn it.
I got one more load to get on there, like an hour ahead of you.
Oh, God, yeah. Do you see that big bit of metal I found? Snapchat?
I can see it there a few times.
Do you? Oh.
I thought I'd been very happy. I probably just thought you picked it up. We did, but against the tree.
Yeah.
I don't know where that would have come from.
It's an old piece of estate fence. They probably just dragged it out with the mowers or a brake or something.
Where?
I don't know.
And how did it not drag or something?
I don't know.
You think how many times inside have you ever ripped that up?
Never. No.
Yeah, so it's
Oh my. Yes. At least I do get a bit of time to film Rob's trailer getting loaded rather than my own for a minute. Chief photographer Rosie is out. Oh, it's getting bigger. We're on our second swipe now. I'm guessing that's going to be the top head. And that'll be the edge. And then the pit itself that's going here is going to be banked up on the side, so that'll probably be the bank edge. And then we'll obviously fill in the old pit. We'll have to empty it a couple of times yet first, I reckon. But yeah, look at this. The ground is just so hard and dry. And this is one of the wetter fields on the farm as well. How about that for a thumbnail? It looks a bit more moist where he's digging to now. I don't want to get too close to the digger, obviously. Safety first, safety second. But yeah, basically this entire paddock is going to end up being one massive dirty water lagoon. So at least we won't have to mess around in the winter emptying it and farting around every week doing that, blowing it in the other pit or blowing it over a hedge or whatever. A couple more bucketfuls and I'm there. I've got another one in there yet. We've done a fair bit considering we didn't start till, it must have been 11 o'clock. Get flat out tomorrow. Well folks, that is the last load tipped for the night. We started another little gully in the field along here, so we've got that one. Currently got a torrential downpour going on, which is most welcome, but if there was 2 minutes of the day I didn't want it, it would be now. One, because I wanted to get out and show you what we've done, but you can probably see it from here, there's a big line of earth there. And two, I've got to shut the gate all the way up. And I am not dressed for the rain, whatsoever. Give the trailer a bit of a wash. I have no idea how much soil we've shifted, I completely lost count of loads, but if I manage to show you back the field in a minute, what we've done, you'll get some idea. It's a massive area we've moved. Topsoil. So whilst I've been carting stuff the furthest end of this field all day, you won't be able to see it through a blurry window, and Rob's been dotting the odd load here, there and everywhere where there's old trees that have come up and left big holes, or there's pits that have been dug for other reasons or whatever. God, look at this. We've got the sunshine out. The bonnet is gleaming. Sunshine and rain. What a combination that is. So yeah, basically Rob's been cheating all day, undercutting me twice. I've got the bigger trailer, the smaller tractor, and I'm taking it further. And he's got the bigger tractor on the smaller trailer, and he's doing the short journeys. I mean, how's that fair? Honestly. But yeah, just about 2 more weeks of this to go. We'll get back and try and show you how we've been getting on. Right then, sit rep at the end of day 1. We have moved a lot of soil. You can see Martin started banking up along the back there and over the other side of the existing ditch. But I don't really know how to tell you how big an area this is that's been taken out. It's pretty massive. What have we gone down? About a foot. There's a dog having a toilet. I mean, just look how hard this ground is. I don't want to get too close to this ditch because I'm sure my dog would love to just jump in it. But here is the existing ditch. Do not go in the water. Hey. I'll be divorced instantly. We probably need to empty that ditch at some point. Well, we will need to empty that ditch at some point. But I think what Martin's done is put a load of topsoil on the bank the other side, so that when we fill this in with subsoil, we've got something to put back on the top. And then from what I understand, the pit is going to start like maybe here somewhere. It's got to be 10 meters. It's either 10 or 15 meters from that hedge basically to here. And then there'll be a bank. It'll be banked up and then sloped down into a big pit. Here comes the boss lady. Better go say hello to her, I suppose. Right, I've seen the bosses, had a chat with them. So they were saying the pit is going to come out roughly to where my truck is. And again, if I walk a long way away, try and show you just how big that's going to be. So from where my truck is, it'll be a corner, all the way over to basically the other side of the excavator, all the way back to where all that stuff's banked up back there. That's going to be a hell of a pit. Absolutely huge. We got a bit of a discussion group meeting tomorrow, but we'll have some time to flitter on and off this in between. And the bulldozer's turning up tomorrow as well. So once that's here, that'll be able to push all this into a pile for the digger. And Martin will be able to just load us rather than having to dig it all up and load us at once, if you see what I mean. We'll have to keep using this ditch until such time where we can actually connect this new pit into the pipe work. The pipe comes out right in the corner there. We'll have to put a concrete ring or something and some more pipe over to wherever the corner of this pit starts. But it's odd to think that where I'm stood now has got to be dug out by about 4 or 5 meters. It's a big old job. There's a lot of soil going to come out of this. A lot of it can be used to make the banks. A lot of this topsoil is going to go over to the park where we were today. We've got another field on some more off ground where we're going to take some as well. And then whatever's left, topsoil wise, will be pushed into a big heap back there, scat back around the field once we finish, I suppose. I think we've done really well today. I think we've moved loads, considering we didn't start till like 11 o'clock. Finished at 6, stopped for half an hour for lunch. So what's that, 6.5 hours? So another good day on it would strip all the topsoil, and it's going to rain biblically again now. I was going to put the drone up and take some shots from above so that I could have like a drone shot every day of the progress we make, but I'm not getting wet. So yeah, there you have it. Day 1, diggering. That's going to be a cool thing to follow along with. Right, morning. Back in what will be the new lagoon. We're having to empty out the old lagoon properly now. Rob sucked out all the liquid he could. Martin's digging out all the slop. And we're just going to tip that in the back of the field over there, let it dry out, and then it'll either be spread across the field or spread back on the bank or something, but that is what it looks like. I'm putting a bucket full of earth in the back of the trailer first because the trailer leaks a little bit. So yeah, we're going to have to take all that out all the way down through there. Some big kit has arrived from Langford Plant Hire. The bulldozer over there working now. I've been left on my own some. Rob's gone to sports day. We only need one trailer anyway, so it works absolutely fine. And what did look like a massive area here is getting even bigger. There's a wooden post over there, if you can see it. That's going to be the edge of the actual pit, but it's going to be sloped all the way where that soil's going to. So that this bank, when it's up high, sort of just slopes
naturally with the slope of the field.
It's going to be the entire paddock. It's going to be redeveloped.
Yeah, for the time being, we're just loading some slop. The chap in the bulldozer is bulldozing. I don't know his name, I need to ask him. We've got to take out that will get progressively wetter as well.
Now, I don't know anything about building a lagoon, but we've got to do this little job here so that Martin can dig a key trench, whatever that is. We'll find out when he digs it, I suppose. And the chap on the dozer is currently, I think they're going to stockpile some topsoil over there. They don't want us to take any more away. So we finished our big road run taking topsoil away now. So the rest of it's going to be stockpiled. We'll probably have to dig out some subsoil and stockpile that to go in the bottom at the very end. And other than that, the guy on the dozer is going to be pushing the floor out. So there'll be lots happening, but we won't necessarily be doing lots of it ourselves, which isn't too bad. We can get on with some other jobs. We've got some water troughs to go up to that field we fenced, where the heifers are going to be living, and then we've actually started feeding the cows this morning. So the cows are currently out. Rob's put some silage in the shed. We'll probably bring them in mid-morning just because we've run out of grass. Busy, busy. Right, this all looks a bit different here, doesn't it? I've abandoned my trailer momentarily because there's a scaffold pole in the pit. And I'm pretty sure we don't want that there. There's a pipe there. Right, I've grabbed said pole. It'll be easier for me to grab it now than Martin try and grab it with a digger. Drag that down with the rest of our gates here. The chap on the dozer is absolutely going for it.
Also, yesterday you wouldn't have seen, so I wasn't filming anything. Big bit of scrap there. But all the hardcore that we had here, where we used to suck the liquid from, we took all that away, put on our stone pile. So there used to be a track on here. You can just about make out where that was like soil, and that was the track. Took all that topsoil off back there, piled that up for the time being. This is all hardcore in under here. Martin's going to have to move his big bucket in a minute. So we took all that away and piled it up ready for crushing, and then carried on with topsoil yesterday. Look at that, he's doubled the size of this in 40 minutes.
We'll do another load in a minute and then I'll take you down the other end of the ditch, show you the transformation. Now that is a bit of skill. I can't open my window and it's filthy. Yeah, we'll just dump that one over there. Good, nice. No dramas. I've never even sat in a digger. My parents never took me to digger land as a child. I feel hard done by. But it looks great fun. Now, apart from this tiny bit in the corner here, where the water comes into the pit, it's actually getting fairly more solid, a lot more silty. Martin's sort of dragging back some of the, I don't know if you call it contaminated soil now, the soil that's got some silty, slurry stuff on it. He's dragging that back with him as he goes, putting that in the back of the trailer so that it blocks any of the little holes in it. And then this stuff here is basically just like sand and silt. You can see how that ruins the capacity of the ditch, because once upon a time this ditch would have been like it is down there where Martin's digging. It held a lot more. I can remember probably 15 years ago when I come here after school, we used to suck up the other side of the hedge there on the main road. We had a long pipe here, we used to suck up out there with a tanker. So they put in this hardcore track. So this is going to be something, isn't it? I mean, look at this. Apparently the chap on the dozer has one speed, and that is flat stick, which is fine. I'll go show you the other side of the digger there in a minute. Well, it's fair to say we're making some progress here anyway. How about that? Put the dozer in the trench. And look at the size of that apron now. Absolutely massive. Right, team groundwork is complete now because the boss man has returned. So we're on Martin's sheepfoot's roller, as it is called. It's a thumping great vibrating roller that you drag around a tractor, although the vibrating aspect of it is currently not working because it's not got a battery on it. I've been asking Martin lots of questions because I've done zero groundwork in my life whatsoever, and I want to make sure I portray it correctly. What's going on? So Rob's in our tractor with the big roller thing. Anybody that watched my videos from when I was at Northwick might have seen that. It was there for 3 or 4 years, but it actually belongs to Martin. So what we're doing is Martin has dug a key trench along here. Now what a key trench is for, again I asked Martin, is for finding any possible land drains out that side, so what's going to be underneath the pit, and also to bind where the bank is going to come down around the outside of the pit.
It's almost like making, well, a key, I suppose. It's exactly what it says on the tin, a key. And then the idea of this roller is that it compacts the layer that Steve in the dozer down there is currently putting on. So you put on nice thin layers of soil and they'll be compacted with this. And it's got all the big teeth or feet on it. They leave a nice imprint in the ground, ready for the next layer to bind onto. Now, it looks pretty messy. It's probably ever so greasy. Rob's shaking his head. This particular bit we're doing now looks a bit damp, but this is where the old ditch was, so it's going to be very soft underneath. But as long as we get the layers on and put a bit of compaction on them, we're doing the right thing. Over where Martin is now, right over there with the digger, where he's digging, that ground's a lot drier, so it will actually work a lot better. But we're just trying to keep up with them so that they can keep moving as well. Once this trench is done and filled in, we've got to do obviously the one where Martin is. There'll be another one along the back here, and then I guess we'll have to dig one this side of the topsoil that's piled up over there. I think Rob's going to try and drive in rather than back in, unless he's just parking up. He might just be parking up, might be too wet. So this, what I'm stood on here, is topsoil with a tiny bit of sludge on it. So this will go back over the bank when that's all finished. I mean, to be fair, the dozer does a pretty good job of levelling it as he goes. I think Rob's over there trying to lose soil. And he can spin himself around on a sixpence. Look quite soft there behind his tracks. That's a better idea. That's a better idea, yes. I like it. Yeah, usually on the back there's an engine and that thing vibrates, which will help clear a lot of the mud that's on it. But that is a much better finish. So you see it's sort of like rough and ready. So that's the idea, is then you then put another layer on top of that and it will knit in and find its way to bind a bit better rather than just having smooth layers. We have also got a conventional like twin drum vibrating roller that you'd see doing like road works over there. But Martin was saying that it makes a smooth layer, they don't bind together, and if you were to dig through it for any reason, you know, each layer would just pull away on its own. So this is the better way to do it. That's definitely a lot better finish now what Rob's doing. I think because we were in the old site of the ditch, it's soft and wet and it's always been wet there. That was just the reason it looked so bad. I need to remember to get some photos of this. So yes, it's all happening. All systems go. We're making progress. It's amazing how much this has changed just today alone. Just pushing that topsoil over there makes you realise quite how big this pit is going to be compared to what was here before. Now that roller is definitely a lot easier to pull rather than push. If we were able to just do a loop, I think we'd do a much better job. The idea is you do like 2 or 3 passes, forward, back, and then another layer of soil, forward, back, and so on. I think Rob has got himself snookered in a corner down there at the minute. He might just have to carry on and follow the dozer around and come out the other end, I think. Because if he could just keep driving forward, that would be great. That was working. Here's quite a good impression of what the roller should do, is leave these holes like that. So that's one of the feet or teeth, whatever you want to call them. And then there's a gap, and then there's another one, and then you put the next layer of soil on it, and some of it sticks in those holes. It all binds together nice. Martin might have made him a ramp out the other end so that Rob can just carry on round the corner and keep doing some circles. But whilst we're walking this way, the actual water in the pit is going to be between that post there, and there's a blue one down there, and another post over there. So that's the square of the actual pit. But the bank of the pit is going to go, so we'll be a metre off the ground, and we're going to fall with the natural slope of the field. So it's going to be a really long, gentle slope all the way down. Once a bank's made, that will all be pushed back up to make a nice gentle slope. Martin's dug like the primary trench, and then it looks like it's made tractor width by the dozer. How about that for a bit of pushing? So this is one corner of the pit, this blue post. Right over to that one. That is something. I think Rob's better to carry on this way. Makes more sense. This is like being in a really big playground. So Steve's just filling in the last of that trench over there. We finished digging the one behind, if you can see out the window. Fun fact, this roller weighs 7 ton empty. So with all that earth on there, it's probably best part of 8 ton. And Martin's digging the other long trench on that side. And here comes the boss man. Right, it's all progressing very well. The last layer of key trench is going back on for where the pit used to be here. We're getting the finish we want now as well. So I have to get right down here. But you can see all these holes that the feet are leaving. So as Steve pushes the next layer on, they get filled obviously and sort of bind the layer that's going on top with this layer underneath. So that's good. It looks fairly rough there, but it'll push it all in, it'll level it off, and then I can go over there rolling again. We'll have to do the same on the bottom edge down there. Cows are just coming in for milking. It's all happening. So we'll probably have 2 more goes on that bottom row. You'll put half of that back in and I'll squash it down and we'll go again. We've now got the full apron of topsoil pushed back. If I stand on this corner post here, this will be the far corner of the pit. I mean, I can't really relate to you the scale of this thing compared to what was here before. I will try and get the drone in the air before I go home tonight. And Martin's now dug this trench as well, so parallel to the one that's over there. As I'm squashing that down and Steve's doing a bit to the end, and I'm squashing that down as well, Steve will then come in here. He'll bulldoze this out a bit wider, which is incredible to watch. That the D6 dozer there, I mean, this trench is ever so slightly narrower than the dozer, and he just busts his way through it. It is a hell of a thing to watch. But then we'll start doing the same. I'll come in here and compact this. We'll put a bit of soil back in and we'll go again. It'll be on with the main digging, I guess. We're gonna have to dig away some of this subsoil and pile up somewhere, I think I said this earlier, to use as the lining on the bottom of the pit when we come to finish. See, some of this here is quite gravelly, quite sandy, and we want the clay, so we'll pick the clayey spots, like over in this corner here, or over where the dozer is actually, there's a lot of clay. We'll pick out the clay, pile that up somewhere, get the pit out how we want it, and then put all that clay back in as the lining. I'm sure Bob will explain some of that on Friday when he's here. But yeah, it is going well, we're flying along. Now I'm actually compacting dry soil. It's starting to fall off the roller a bit, so as I said, I can't break it off, but yeah, that is a hell of a thing. So it normally has an engine running, but the battery is away being charged or fixed or something, so we're not currently using that. Martin said when this is running with the engine, if you stop and stand still, the roller will bite its way into the ground. Look at that, perfect pattern. Anyway, back to doing something, I suppose.
Right, skip forward a few hours. It's been a very successful afternoon. We've got a lot more done than I think we thought we were going to. We're actually just filling in the last trench. For whatever reason, you are all condensated up. Now you're probably muddy. That's what happens when you keep your camera in the fridge of the tractor. We're in some drier soil now as well, so the roller's doing a bit of a better job. The soil that's on it is starting to fall off. Steve's just pushing the last bit of soil into this trench, and then it will get a bit of a track from his dozer, and then Rob will spend a bit of time rolling it in. We were going to leave this one empty for Bob on Friday, but in the interest of time and getting on, we filled it in. We got plenty of footage of it happening and photos of everything that we needed photos of, so that's the main thing. And then before Martin finished here, he dug down, see a hole there, dug down as deep as he could go with his digger, and he didn't hit water, which is very, very good. Just starting to rain, which is my cue to go home, I reckon. Rob said this was one of those days where we've done quite a lot of work, but actually achieved not a lot, because we've dug 4 trenches and filled them back in again. But tomorrow we're going to start stripping clay and stockpiling that, ready for lining the bottom, and we'll start to see the pit take a bit of shape. Right, welcome to day 3, or it's actually day 4 of the Lagoon build. It's actually my day off, but there's a lot happening today, so I thought I'd come and have a look and film a bit of it. Yesterday evening, which is to be the end of the last video you saw, we finished up with all the key trenches, so actually where this really bit of compacted stuff is here. That was one trench, done all 4 sides, dug it all out, laid it all back in, made sure there's no land drains anywhere, rolled it all back down. This bund that I'm still on here is all the topsoil that's going to go back on the top. Same over there and also around the back. And then today what they've started doing is digging out some clay from the pit and stockpiling it over here, and that is going to be used to line the pit once it's been dug and shaped out exactly how we want it. So Rob's in that tractor with the yellow trailer, Richard's in the other one with the red trailer, and they're literally just taking it from where Martin's digging it to the corner of the field here and stockpiling it, and then Steve is tracking it over it and sort of consolidating it into a nice heap with the dozer. So yeah, they have been very, very busy this morning. It's currently 1:45. They're going to carry on with this for another 20 minutes or so. I think Martin just wants to dig out the bit to the end here, make it like a nice even hole. And then after lunch, I believe Steve in the dozer is going to start shaping the pit. So within the confines of the posts, this one seems to have disappeared. I reckon Martin's pushed it in the ground. They'll start pushing all this earth up and banking it and making the final shape of the pit. Or so I think, I don't really know. I've never built a slurry pit before. He is pulling some moves on top of that pit up there. I don't think I'd have the minerals to be up there on a dozer. You can see we're quite lucky here that we've got the perfect soil type for just digging out a lagoon. High clay content, nice and sticky. What is going on over there? Packing the sides in well anyway. I wonder if Rob's got dizzy yet from just going around the same circle time after time after time. He is really trying to pack the sides of that pit in. We're not really expecting any rain, maybe just a tiny little bit over the next week or so, but I guess they pack it down to stop any of it washing. Yendel's trailer coming in very, very helpful. Steve's just doing laps of the pit on the dozer there. I've got to be a bit careful where I walk, because obviously I'm in the middle of a live site here. As long as they can all see me, it's fine. I should have my high vis on really. You can see a lot better now in the ground, all the little holes left by that roller where this trench was compacted, and now they've run over it with the dump trailers a bit. It really, look at that, that's a cool pattern, isn't it? Really makes it a lot more visible. See, there is actually a bit of gravelly stuff there. That's different. That's why you dig the nice clay off the top and stockpile it to reline it with it at the end, because I don't expect that would be particularly waterproof. But look how easy it all breaks up. Be careful not to get in the way. We haven't got to be quite so finesse with loading at the moment, because obviously we're only going over there. It doesn't matter if we spill much. And it's not topsoil, so we're not trying to keep it all separate. So it is as quick as Martin can fill the trailers. And as soon as Rich is back here ready to fill, Rob will just disappear and tip his load. And they'll just keep going, keep the digger moving. But you can see down here in the subsoil, there's a lot more sort of gravelly, sandy stuff. So that's what we want to dig out. And then reline with a lot more of this stuff. You see that? That is what the finish will be at the end, once it's been all hard rolled. Smooth clay. Here's Rich rushing around as ever. We had the aircon fixed on that tractor, and it's now better than the one that Rob's in. It's almost too cool. Let's jump back in with Rob, see what he has to say about the situation. I think you've got to be a certain type of person to drive a dozer, especially the way that Steve seems to be driving that one. I mean, would I go on the side of that heap of soil on a D6 dozer? I probably would not. Also, is that drinker going to survive there? Who knows? Right, a few hours later, me and Rob have been sat up on those chairs overlooking the operation, whilst there was nothing we could do for a minute. The actual pit itself is going to start to take shape now. So Martin's just in there digging off the bank a bit, where they were digging the clay out earlier, because there'd be a bit of a flat edge for the dozer to push. Rob's in the tractor and the roller over there. Now Kev up the road, who does our tractor servicing for us, he's had the battery off of the roller and a couple other bits, I think, and got all that working now. So the donkey engine on the roller is now running, which means that a 7-ton weight that is on that roller when it's empty, or just as it is now the equivalent of 35 ton, I think Martin said, with the engine going, which also helps keep it clean, all the soil's falling off it. So you can see now a much more obvious print in the ground where it's been, because obviously it's vibrating itself. So basically Rob's afternoon is going to be spent just doing laps. Everything they're pushing up on the sides here to make sort of the footings of the banks is going to be vibrate rolled as he's doing it, and as they keep pushing a layer up, he'll keep rolling it, and so on and so on, and before you know it, we'll have a big pit. I mean, we've got a big pit already. Here he comes, sports fans. Hopefully you can see it vibrating. And that's going to be the rest of Rob's afternoon. Right, a bit damper this morning, back out in the lagoon. This morning we have got Bob Watson coming to the farm. He is much more of an expert on these things than any of us. He's written a lot of the guidance, he'll tell you all this himself in a minute, I'm sure, for these lagoons, and he wanted to come have a look how it's going on. He's a farm advisor for doing these sorts of jobs, and he's quite passionate about it, so he's come to have a look at what we've been doing. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, a bit of a damp day. Could affect the way the rollers and things work.
So here's Bob. I've given you a very brief introduction, but probably best you give an introduction to yourself, just so I don't get it wrong. So I'll spin the camera around and Bob will introduce himself.
Hello folks, joined ADS 35 years ago in 1990, and for the last 10 to 15 years I've been self-employed. But the important thing was there was a guide to lagoon construction as part of Syria 126, and we rewrote that 10 years ago, and I was the lead author on Earthbank lagoons, and at the moment we're rewriting it. I got into lagoons because they're a less expensive and more durable way to store slurry and fouled water. Done 244 of them so far, appraisals. And it's important to get that bit done first of all, so that you know what kind of soil you've got and whether you're going to have enough to make the thing impermeable. Only using soil, no plastic sheeting, nothing else. So what the roller's doing here is a bit like a cow's foot poaching in a field. So what you've got is you've got a smear down the side of the of where the sheep's foot's gone, and you've got a push compaction down on the bottom. So it's really good in this kind of soil.
The eye when it's doing it, you can feel the ground vibrating as well.
Yeah. So on the second pass, it's beginning to make its mark, and you're seeing these indents, and they're certainly compacting that down and that's what you're after. Martin's laying this up about 225mm deep, and that's in the table, the depth you need to go 4 times to the roll, and then that's your required compaction. This is the Lagoon bank going up. If you've got shaly soil and you're using the shale in the actual Lagoon bank, you want to put your good material on the inside of the lagoon, but it still pays to compact the shale with the vibrating roller, because the shale often breaks down. It's clay to start with before it became shale, and this will turn it back to almost a clay. So that's the third pass. It doesn't look as though much is happening, but you need the 4 passes to absolutely bring it down. You can see how the tractor tyres are now beginning to make their mark. You know, the whole thing is changing with those 4 passes. The other thing about this with the sheep's foot roller is these marks are probably in a different position to what they were on the pass before. So you're getting a sort of a patter effect over the 4 passes. So it's definitely why you need to go over that many times. So there you have it, 4 passes in the 2 different areas, and that's the compaction you're after. That's the step that a contractor might easily skimp on, but those are the reasons why you need that many passes, to make sure you've absolutely done the job properly. So this is the kind of result you'll get if the soil's dry enough that it won't stick to the roller. You'll get these deep indents where the tooth of the roller was. There's your smear down the side and your compaction straight down onto the bottom. With my fingers I can barely move that. You can use a tester to see whether this is hard or not, but can't emphasize enough it's the 4 passes, because apart from everything else, if you're using a sheep's foot, the next pass might be there or there or there, and now you're absolutely covering the whole ground with very high pressure. The next step here is to bring another layer in, about 225mm deep, and in this case they'll be pushing it with the bulldozer there. There's lots of different ways to do it, but you really just got to make sure you get that even layer and then roll 4 times in this case. Other things in the table, other information in the table might tell you to roll 6 times, or just depending on the equipment you've got. So Martin has just laid up a layer 225mm deep, just to say this is where the compactor's been before, and now he's put that layer on top of it. And what we're going to do is get Rob to go to and fro on this while the camera stays in one place, and hopefully we'll see the successive reduction of this in height as that compactor goes over it. So that's 1 pass, and we've reduced it from there to there and made those smear marks and compaction marks in the trench. Sadly, there's been a few showers this morning, so it's sticking to the roller a bit. But here's the second pass. And now the third pass. We're seeing that level come down as it goes down here, especially across where it's been caught there. Yeah, it's a shame that what's dropping off the roller is obscuring the view, but Joshua's got other footage from drier soil. The compaction is taking place. If it was a smooth roller, it would be a lot clearer. I get him just to back up and stop, so we can just see how that roller sinks under its own vibration. So there it is. It's sitting on there, but it's still on its way down. And then if Rob just goes forward a wee bit, okay, and we see the same thing happening. And then if he pulls right away now, you can see, despite what fell off, how much further that's gone down just by standing still. Again, it emphasises the importance of getting that done. So when the lagoon's being built, it just looks like a general mess of machinery and shallow excavation. But what we're really trying to finish up with is this. We're looking at a lagoon where we're going to be 5 metres from top to bottom. We're going to have very gentle slopes on the inside, 1 in 2.5 to be stable. We can be slightly steeper on the outside, or we can tail them right off depending on taste. But that's what we're looking for. Freeboard of 750mm, and then this white bit is where you're going to put material in. And of course rain's going to come into it if it's not covered. So you need to account for all that in the calculations, which in this case we have. The next thing we need is to make sure we've got enough of the right kind of soil, which I'll talk about in a minute. But when we've got that soil, we're going to, in this case, bring it in layer by layer and roll it down on the inside of the lagoon bank. So we'll lay one layer down and then another, and just keep going, rolling until that is 1 metre thick on the inside of the lagoon. So that's how we're going to build it. The right kind of soil needs to be more than 20% clay and less than 30% stone. And on the agricultural soil diagram, you've got sand, silt and clay, and we're looking for blue to green, which is a clay loam, or green, which is a clay. And when this was dug out, there was a clay in every pit except for the one across in the northeast corner, which had gravel at the top. So we don't want that on the inside of the lagoon, but all of the rest of it is suitable. So this lagoon has plenty of adequate soil. The other thing that's really important as that soil is put into place, especially on the liner on the inside banks and on the base, is that it is properly compacted down. And there's a table in the Syria guide which shows the kind of compaction you need depending on the weight of roller you're using and whether it's got a vibrating device on it or not. And in this case we're using a very heavy sheep's foot roller.
Now hopefully you've found everything that Bob's had to say interesting and helpful. He definitely explains things better than I do. He obviously is a lot more knowledgeable on the whole lagoon building than I am. It was a shame he couldn't come yesterday afternoon when we had lovely sunny weather and we were actually doing all the bank rolling properly with the dozer in front of it and everything. But it's just the way things worked out. Martin came in special this morning just to help show and demonstrate the roller working. Bob was really keen to try and get that point across, that is one of the most fundamental things about building these lagoons, is getting these banks right and getting them consolidated with those types of rollers, and not just going over it once and twice, and getting it really compacted down properly the correct amount of times with that roller. So yeah, it was really interesting to speak to Bob, so thank you Bob for coming out. It will be all systems go again on Monday. So from what I understand, the plan is actually for the roller, which is currently on our tractor over there, to go on the back of the dozer, and then Martin will be digging this bank and piling it up on here. The dozer will be leveling it and rolling it himself, and I think then we'll be digging out into the 2 trailers which are over there and piling up on the other side as well. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. It's amazing how fast this has all come together. Like, it was only Monday we were starting to strip the topsoil against the old ditch, which was like still there, and now that's gone. The topsoil's all been either moved or stripped over there. We actually have something that resembles the start of a big lagoon, so that is good. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions that perhaps I cannot answer, please leave them in the comments. I do always try to answer stuff, but if I can't, Bob watches the video, so I'm sure he can find a way of replying and letting you know what you want to know. We're like...
Get that camera out of my face and do what's happening! Get that thing off me right now!
What Rob meant to say there was, welcome back to day 5. 4, 5? Day 5. Video 4, day 5 of the Lagoon build. And it's all starting to happen now. We got both trailers on again. So Rob's actually got the yellow trailer on his tractor now. Mainly because that tractor, although it has 4 spools, only 2 of them are actually working. And the red trailer needs 2 spools, so to hook it and unhook it and every morning or whatever for either the tanker or the feeder wagon, you've got to unhook the pipe that feeds the pickup hitch, which is very annoying. So we've swapped. That trailer only needs 1 spool. Look at this for a pit. That is pretty deep. So we're beginning the main pit excavations here. We're taking the soil from here, obviously, this big hole, and banking it up in front of Steve. And then he's just pushing it about the place. How deep are you going, mine?
5 metres in total.
5 metres. No.
Yeah, 5 metres and then we'll
Put another metre, yeah.
That's the plan.
Ideal. Mine must have a good eye. I know he's got a laser there, but he must have a good eye because he's just digging it sort of blind and then trying it every so often. But you wouldn't be able to hear what he said there because the microphone is connected to my hat. But we're digging it down to 5 metres to get our baseline, and then that big lump of clay over there that we've piled up will go back on the base as the lining of the pit. Kev's here. He's our friendly mechanic. We've got a problem with the roller. The hitch has decided to snap this morning. So he's come to sort that one out for us. So there's going to be a fair bit of digging work. We're going to dig out, obviously, this whole bit up to about here somewhere. That's a lot of soil to move. Most of it's going to go this side and make a nice bank that way. We don't need too much soil that way. Most of the bank that we want is already there. Let Martin fill up my trailer a minute and then I'll just pull it forward quick, get Rob's here so he can carry on. It's a little bit sticky. We've had a lot of rain. Well, I say a lot of rain. We've had like 12 or 13 mil of rain. Which, considering we've had none for months, it's quite a lot. Rob was caught napping there, although I think he was actually helping Kev escape with his van. Somewhat wedged on the mud. And he's going to take off after that bucketful. Now you get another one on there, Rob. Easy. Considering how wet it's been, I don't think we've got too much sticking to the inside of the trailer. Time to shine through a very mucky back window. We are being loaded. Yeah, so the roller, which is up there, it's got a normal ring hitch on like you'd have on the trailer. We put it on the back of the dozer this morning, and because he does this a bit on the uneven ground, he got to a certain point and the jaw on the dozer just cuffed straight through the hitch. Kev's come down to get that. He's unbolted it and taken it away, and he'll weld a new ring on and make it slightly different so it don't happen again. Yeah, considering all the rain we've had, travelling a lot better than I thought it would. Yesterday was horrible. I mean, perfect for grass growth because we need the rain, but horrible day really. I got soaked chasing around some cows that actually broke into here. They didn't break in at all actually. Richard left the bungee down. Let's call him out on it. I probably should have checked before I let the cows go though. We will take equal blame. It's difficult to film stuff today because it's very fast paced. You know, by the time I get back to where we're loading from, Rob's loaded and gone, so I can't really get out. But the plan was to have the roller going on the back of the dozer so that as Steve is flattening the stuff that we're tipping, it's getting compacted in. So hopefully in an hour or so that will be what's happening. Or we'll drop a trailer off and go with one trailer and a roller on the other tractor. Right, I've just been and had a quick little bit of lunch. So it's all happening today. We've got 2 of Yendel's chaps, Zach and James, are here spreading sand, so they're back on that job. I'm guessing because the weather's been a bit catchy, they're caught up silaging and obviously can't get combining for a minute. So that is something they can do in the weather we're having. Anyway, we're into the main digging phase of the lagoon now. So this morning, obviously as you've seen, me and Rob have been moving some soil from A to B, not very far at all. In fact, we've been moving it from where Martin's digging now there. There's a big, like 15-foot wide ditch for the whole length of the pit. And he's gone down 5 metres on his staff. He's got a little level over there. Tells him how deep it is. So he's gone down 5 metres and we basically chucked everything that he's put in our trailers here. Steve's levelled this. And Rob's also been over it with the roller. That's what these big clumps of earth are. That's earth that's fallen off the roller as it's been going. Because it's been a bit tacky and it's rained a bit today, it's not done the roller any favours. But yes, it's supposed to be alright after today. Where am I going? I'm going to the wrong machine. It's that really annoying weather where it's not like proper raining, but it's damp enough to make all the clay stick to your boots. And the way I walk, I then flick it down the back of my legs and into my boots. You can see all this bit here that's shiny, so that's where we've been travelling all morning. We've smoothed the surface off with the trailers, the tractors, and now of course it's rained on it. You can see the print there where Rob's been rolling. It's done a nice job. All the little pockets filled with water now. This is like an ice rink. It's just going to start raining again as well. But there we have it, a big 5 metre hole, absolutely huge. So all we're doing now is building up the banks, and of course this will be the main body of the lagoon then, right up to out here somewhere. This will be dug down. I'm guessing this will be swung out over that way, and the bit that he's digging now will go behind him. So there's not a lot any of us can do at the minute. That's sort of a two-man job there for the time being, so we'll leave him to it. I'll come have a little look after we finish milking, see how far they've got, but I'd imagine they've got most of the way down that bank he's working on.
It's now 36 hours since the last little clip you saw. It's fair to say this place has changed dramatically. It is really starting to take shape now. I'll show you a little bit later on, because we're in a very tight for time trailer loop at the moment. I just don't have time to get out right now and film little bits and pieces. Basically, the excavation of the main body of the pit is going on. It's been a bit of a combination between us on trailers and also Martin just chucking the soil up on the bank for Steve in the dozer, and him getting rid of it just by pushing it. What we're doing is building up the exterior banks with the stuff that's going right out the bottom of the pit. Now I usually go home for lunch, but this week I've been bringing lunch with me just in case it's got busy and we've been needed. But today it looked like they were all right on their own, Steve and Martin. So I went home for lunch. Just about sat down and started eating, and Rob rang to say, "Oh yeah, we need you here on a trailer. Can you come back?" So I was like, "Yep, be there in a minute." But we've got a nice little routine going here, so we're being loaded and then driving pretty much over the last load we tipped. Steve's levelling it with the dozer and tracking it, which means that we can then drive over it with the next load and tip, and then that cycle is continuing. Yeah, it is mega different now. Rob spent a good couple hours this morning basically compacting all the way around the pit as it is so far. We've got one half here that I think we've got our finished grade, and the bank there against where the old pitch was. Like I said, I'll show you that a little bit later on, but really starting to take shape now. Hopefully the rest of today and maybe a bit of tomorrow to finish doing the excavating, and then possibly Thursday and Friday we'll be chucking all the clay we took out back in. Anyway, I'll show you a little bit later on, and if I get time I'll jump out and do a bit of filming. She's full, Robert. I'm sort of changing position here, but I'm not entirely sure where to. Back down to mine. Something like that. This stuff right in the bottom of the pit has got a bit more gravel in it. I don't know if you can see that or not. What you're looking at. Yeah, look at the pit over there. It's all shaped out that side. So hopefully you can see this is where we've been tipping. We're just building up a small layer time over time. And then mucky windows I know, but Steve's coming and levelling it off. Then we just do a lap of the pit and we go again. I will show you properly at some point in this video, I promise, but look at that now. God, I don't think it's quite a full reach, but it's reaching a long way down. I suspect Rob will move after this bucket full. Let's get 30 seconds of fresh air.
I don't think the videos do it justice how big this site is. Like, it is massive. I'm not going to go anywhere near down there whilst Martin's digging. Later on, when we've all finished and gone the other side, where I'm not going to fall off a sheer face, although I reckon before they finish tonight they'll have this graded a bit better as well. I don't want to leave a straight drop. Yeah, basically this was already here, this bank. They built that up yesterday and we built the next pass over right up beside it now nearly. So we're getting there. Another good day at it tomorrow, whether we need trailers or not, but we will see. Right, Rob's going rolling. I'm going to have to push this down a bit to get it at the right level. Look how strong I am. Oh, keep coming. Okay, up. Up gently, yep. Oh. Yeah, you're up. That's good.
I'm not doing it gently.
Do you want me? You don't want that. I'll just turn it on.
You just flick around with these levers outside the hydraulics.
To stop your hydraulics going mad.
They go nuts. Thank you. I'll fire it up once I'm over there. I leave that.
You don't want
there.
that.
I don't need it.
I don't. I'll follow you over. There he goes. Doing some sheep's foot rolling. Look at this all taking shape. So this is the bank that we built this afternoon, all of this one. Along there. Steve wanted to build up the walls, and now that he's close enough to the excavator, we come off the trailers. Richard and Rosie have come to direct traffic. Fire me up, boy! On. Huh? Press the magic button. There we go. Oh, look at the finish. A lot of that earth should fall off. I reckon we're back at the correct sort of soil conditions now for that job. Just smashed up that lump of concrete. Should have driven up there, Rob. But look at this, this is all go. I'm going to walk round here and show you the edge. Martin's currently building a ramp for us to be able to get in and out of said pit, in case we need to, anytime ever. I'll stay away from there because that's just a sheer drop. Perhaps we'll go over here. So this, I believe, is the finished gradient. So it'll be like this the entire way round. Obviously there'll be a bank there where Martin's making a bank. We've got this end to sort out. That'll probably be the last bit we do. They'll move on to that bit next over there, I would have thought. So we'll just do exactly the same. So the top line up there will be graded down exactly like this is down here. Same again there as well. With the four sides of our pit. Rob will do half an hour or so of packing in all that soil that they're just chucking up there now. Get a bit of a shot from the end here. That gives you a bit more scale, doesn't it? Because from where I'm stood to the bottom of that pit is like a 5 metre vertical drop, although it seems more. But as I said in the last video, there is clay to go back on top of that. I might have said it earlier in this video. The clay that Richard and Rosie are stood on over there has got to go back in. There's a little bit of water down there, but that is rainwater. We haven't actually hit any water, which is pretty good. Well, it's very good. That makes life so much easier. We haven't got to put any drains in anywhere. And yeah, once this bank here is sorted out, and that little bit at the end, that won't take very long at all, we will be absolutely cruising. Then it's just a bit of a tidy up job, so all around the back here will be graded down over, and then eventually all that topsoil over there will be pushed back up on top. I guess we'll have to fence, well obviously we'll have to fence this, and then that will all be grass seeded out, and it'll be back to some form of grazable paddock. We've got a couple of planes going over. This is what's coming out the bottom, look, big solid lumps of clay. Look at that. Honking great thing, perfect for this job. So hopefully you can see what we've done today here if I pan around. So this here did start at the same level as this. So in a couple of hours we've built up a huge amount of soil there really. I mean, we've not been taking it very far. I've been taking it from where Martin is there literally to here, but that's what we've been doing. Steve's been levelling it out for us, and then we've just started chucking it on here, the bit that Rob's rolling, And because that's being chucked on there a lot quicker than we were chucking it on with trailers, they've got the roller up there to pack it all in. He's doing a good job. Keep leveling it out. There's a little blue post just there, if you can see it, there somewhere. That is going to be, well, the top of that post is the level of the bank needs to be. So you can see how much soil we've still got to chuck over here yet. And there's another post over there by that orange net that you can't see because it's not painted. Basically, that bank there that's not been dug out yet, we'll go there and fill that void. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? I'll just come back up to the viewing gallery for a couple minutes, take it all in. Probably get quite a good view from up here. Yeah, you do. Look at that. I'll just kick back and relax and let them all work. Sounds about right. What I think I'm going to do is, once this project is completely finished, I'm going to try and edit a video from the pit start to finish, the build of it. I might just do what Matt Armstrong does and just chuck however many videos we have of building this pit together. And it'll be like a couple hours long or something. But that way, if you want to watch the entire thing in one big motion, like a movie almost, you can do. I'm just excited for some water to go in there. I want to do that bit now. Today's Tuesday. I reckon by the end of the week, this clay will be at the bottom of the pit and it'll be lined. They'll do all the finishing touches next week, and it'll be, Rob's pointing at me to film the bank, I think. So I'm learning as we go along with this building process, but essentially what happens is, Martin digs out the basic shape of whatever's happening, and then the dozer comes along and beats it into submission. That thing moves a lot of soil with not a lot of fuss. Look at it go. Someone commented on the last video and said, that's not a very big dozer. I can confirm it is flipping massive. It's probably going to take a swipe out of this bank, so I won't go too close. I'm trying to tidy up all the stuff down on the edge there. Working. Right, that's going to bring us to close of play on day, I don't know what day we're on now, 5 or 6, video 4 maybe. And yeah, just speaking to Martin, he reckons by the end of tomorrow the pit will basically have its shape completely, and then it's like chucking the clay back in, doing that job, all the little finishing touches. We've got to get in the pit tomorrow morning and take out any of the last little bits of gravelly stuff that's in there. You'll see it in the next video anyway, but shave some stuff off the bottom of the banks because that's got to be lined with clay as well, the actual ramp bit. And yeah, we'll see where we get to. Right, back on the old dirty water pit job. And we are down in the pit. This is the ramp we made last night. And what Martin's done is he's just levelled the floor off completely. So we've got a nice smooth job, and he's also, you see he's cut out the bottom of the bank over there. That's going to be all relined with the clay we took off the top. So we've got this end here to sort out today. And this bank here is going to be graded the same as the one on the other side. I better jump back in my trailer. I was going to say, getting to the point where it's getting tough to get out of this ramp. But we do manage it every time. Steve's coming in a little bit to run the dozer again. Rob's parked up. Just so happened that Rob got physio this morning for his bad ankle. Which is a bit of a unfortunate timing thing, but it is what it is. So I thought Rich was going to come and drive the other trailer for a bit. Rob's been here all morning. He's literally just gone now. But there's also somebody coming to see Rich soon this morning as well. So it's all happening today. Today is a busy day, but it should be a productive one, and hopefully by the end of today the pit will have its sort of final shape, and probably chuck some clay in it tomorrow. And I don't know how long all the like finishing off bits take. Probably longer than you think. Get it all right. But yeah, we're getting there. It's been a week of like blitzing it. It's been good. So we're just stockpiling all of this stuff that's coming out the floor at the far end here. So then when Steve gets here, he'll level all this and push it all around and make a nice bank back here. So yeah, see all that pile there this morning? My windows are absolutely filthy. Poor window management from me. I did set up a GoPro for a time lapse, but I'm pretty sure the battery died fairly quickly because the screen looks black. Well, look how it's changed over the course of 5 or 6 hours. So we were down there this morning digging out that floor. We got a little bit more tidy up in the morning, but we want to leave that until the morning. Martin said we're going to clean that up and then immediately put the clay in and seal it. So that is, as far as I know, the plan for first thing tomorrow. Steve is like a man possessed on the bank in the dozer. He is going for it. Rob's been here all afternoon, just going round and round literally in circles. And hopefully Bob is watching, because this is the exact finish he would have wanted to see. This is perfect. Now that the sun's come out again and everything's dry, we're getting these really nice consolidated sheep's foot holes. And as you can see, you go around multiple times, you end up getting them really close together. But this is like rock hard now. And this is, I guess this is what the finish will be like in the bottom of the pit once we put all that clay in there tomorrow. Roll it a few times and that'll be proper. So they haven't really needed us too much today. They've been doing that bank over there by themselves. So we went and got those bales, as you saw. We actually took those straight up to the field where we're going to feed them and left them up there. You can't see the field from here, but we got another half a load to go and pick up, so we'll try and do that either tomorrow or Friday as well. I'm going to take you around the other side where the digger and Rob are, because it's unrecognisable from this morning round there. We fly sprayed the cows again this afternoon whilst we were milking. Rich and Abby were in the pit putting the cups on, and I sprayed the cows whilst they were milking. They've just come out a little bit bitey because it's been wet and then like now really hot. That's like perfect fly weather. So we thought we'll subdue them. Yeah, look at this. Lovely even pattern all the way across. That is perfect. That is so good. So everything that we were taking out the bottom this morning, we were tipping here. As you can see, Steve's levelled all that over and made a nice bank down. Rob's obviously rolled it all in. So I think this is pretty much ready now for that topsoil to be pushed back on. That'll be the last job that happens. How about that for a picture? And hopefully now see the shape of the pit. One massive lagoon. Rob and Rich were saying about possibly concrete in the ramp, but because it's only going to be water in there, I really don't think we need to concrete it. We don't want to stone it, because if you introduce stones to a clean pit, we'll just end up sucking stones up into our own tanker, or even worse, the umbilical boys will suck it up into their system if they're here emptying it at all. Right, anyway, round to this side. So this morning when we started, this was 3 different level shelves. And over the course of the day, they've chucked enough soil there, like Martin is now, leveled it all out, and made this lovely massive bank all the way down to this pile of topsoil. Now, it's hard to see under here, but this green bit of the field slopes up like that ever so slightly. So what they've tried to do here is make it so that once this topsoil is put back on the bank, the slope just carries on and it's one fluid motion all the way up to the top of the pit. Rob is loving life. He's in his trainers. That's how hard he's been working today. But yeah, you can see even on this fresh bit that he's just done. That is so good. I never thought in my life I would get excited about consolidating clay. But here we are. 2025, the year of the clay consolidation. We have got the smooth roller here as well, but I don't think we're going to end up using that. I think the weather's going to be right enough now that we can just carry on with the one that Rob's got. Looks like Rob is Snapchatting. So there's our ramp. Rob has been up and down the ramp a couple of times, but we're going to run up and down it a few times tomorrow with loaded trailers, so that'll pack that in quite nicely. But there'll be a bit more finishing off to do here, because I think, whether you can see it on the camera or not, it looks like this slopes ever so slightly this way, whereas it wants to go ever so slightly the other way. But I think what will happen is they'll come and finish off this edge and pack it up sort of here, and that'll make enough soil so that it flows off the other way. I keep saying it, but I can't really explain how massive this hole is. You can see the line where Martin's dug up to along the side of that bank there. So where he's dug in the side and it looks a little bit rough, that's all going to be packed with clay tomorrow as well. So first thing tomorrow, that's what we'll be doing on this side, is cutting out that line, and then we'll do exactly the same. Clean up the floor proper, clean up this corner down here, get it all neat and tidy how we want it, and then as soon as we've done that, clay in there. So that means we'll have Martin up on that pile loading the trailers, and we'll just be tipping it down here as fast as we can for Steve to level about and track in, and then we'll roll it, and then job's a good one. I don't quite know when it will happen, but once that's all done and finished, we have got to have the EA come out obviously and sign it all off, and then all that's left of our old ditch, which looks tiny in comparison, will be filled in. The pipe that comes out the bank will be extended and come into the side of here somewhere. So I think we're just going to extend that right through into the top of here, and then that will fill away. This is going to be so much better. We won't have to touch any water over winter. I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be out of a job. Anyone got something I can do? Coming in hot at approximately 3 kilometers an hour. Racing. Right, I've had enough for a day. I'm only part-time anyway, as everyone keeps telling me. Just come and collect my belongings out of this tractor. Consists of one GoPro. Now you can tell how much progress we've made today, because Martin has gone on chucking the topsoil back on that side of the bank. So what a day that is. We are near the finishing line. Rob's just going to carry on while Steve's still here pushing soil around, and then we'll attack for a few hours in the morning with the floor and the clay, and to be honest, we're getting there. The weather's decided to come out nice and hot again, perfect timing, so that will all cap in absolutely beautiful. Right, good morning folks. I can't remember what day we're on now of the Lagoon build, and we are cracking on with relining the pit with the clay. So this morning Martin's been down in the pit digging out the last little bit of soil he wants out, basically just making it a lovely nice flat surface, getting rid of any little pockets of rubbish, any more gravelly bits. We're now taking all the clay that we have stockpiled and tipping it back in the pit. The sun is in the absolutely wrong place here. Back down the ramp, straight into the sun. But it's a nice quick job because it is literally as fast as you can get it down here and tipped, smearing it about with the dozer, tracking it all in, get rid of that heat proper quick. And I guess it'll be a job of rolling it all in once it's all been packed where it needs to go. Rich was driving first thing this morning. I turned up about 7:30 and Rob and Rich were already moving soil on trailers.
and then Rich and Abby have just gone to move some in-carb heifers. So I'm just filling in the gap for a minute. There's Rob in the other trailer. Now that we're back on clay, it's a bit stickier, it is sticking to the trailers a bit. So Martin's cleaning out the trailer with his bucket before he starts loading. He takes a bucket full of soil, smears the trailer up through, and then starts loading. I suspect he's moved a third of that pile of soil already. Basically, the big hole that we dug, we're now filling back in for about 1 metre deep. That's obviously not 1 metre. So it's all go. Once that's done, I think it's just a job of push all the topsoil back on. They started doing that last night. Martin's done half of one bank where the old ditch was. Loads of you really enjoyed the video where Bob came to the site and had a look around and was explaining all about the need for consolidating the banks. So that video only came out last night, so I'm obviously filming every day at the moment, so I'm getting a bit behind or ahead, depending on what way you look at it. And hang going down this bank now. Steve is some operator. I don't know what we're going to do with ourselves once we haven't got a ditch to play in. Or a hole even, I should say. A bit more than a ditch. Martin on the big heap of clay. Big bucket, takes no time at all to fill that trailer up. 5 scoops and we're done. Lagoon is nearly finished. Right, Richard is back. I've been relieved of my duty, which means I can come out here and film some stuff. So that pile of clay is disappearing rapidly. Backing down the ramp at the moment. We've got 1 layer in the pit completely now, and I don't know how well you can see from all the way up here, but we put 1 layer in, and then before breakfast me and Rob had a trailer full each and just tried to compact it as best we could, drove over all of it. Steve's doing a good job of scatting it everywhere as it's coming down. Obviously got a little bit more to go up that bank over that side, but the nice thing is you can tip it pretty much anywhere and he gets rid of it. But it looks like they're doing up this bank at the moment. Lovely job. Meanwhile, Rob's been loaded and he's coming down the bank. Rob's decided the far corner is where he's going. I think they're going to do each bank now, and then whatever's left will go in the middle again. The only problem with moving clay, which I think I said earlier, is the trailers get like a thick layer stuck to the bottom of them. So you're not taking a full trailer load each time. That trailer's not too bad. I know Martin's has got a little bit in it, but it looks completely different from this end. It's all shiny, look, where it's all smeared about. That is ideal. That will not let water through. Right, 1 tractor's over there. Rich is down there, so I reckon it's safe for me to climb down here a minute and show you the floor. So you can obviously see where me and Rob have been driving. It is like rock. That is rock hard. Lovely smooth. I mean, that is. Can you hear that? Can't tell you how hard that is. Obviously, we need to get it all smooth and all compacted. Obviously, there's a bit there, but there'll be another whole layer to go on here yet. Then once we finish moving soil and the trailers aren't busy, we'll get that compactor on and get it down here and beat it into submission. And it'll be a good old job. And the sun's coming out and it's just all good. What a day to be alive. Rob said, can we give Richard the mush mush, tell him to get on with it. Poor Rich, he's doing his best, look. He is loving life. There's no time, Rob is going. Right, we'll get the drone up in a minute. I'll come over here and show you this first. So last night Martin made a start putting the topsoil back on, so what I'm currently walking on now is topsoil. It's weird to think that standing here I would have been in the old ditch. Walking along here, this is the lovely topsoil. It's going back on. And then somebody did ask in the comment section of yesterday's video, but basically everything you see here, apart from the pit obviously, but all the banks and everything up here will be grassed out again. We'll put a fence around the pit so animals obviously can't get in there, and then they'll be all right to graze around it like they used to the old one. Yeah, what a job that is. I cannot believe how quickly this has been done. It's Thursday today. We started stripping topsoil last Monday. And the first 2 days, the Monday and the Tuesday,
were really only sort of half days. We were busy doing other things. And then the Friday last week, we didn't do hardly anything. Bob was here, Martin and Steve were elsewhere. So if you say between Monday, Tuesday and Friday, we had 2 days where we weren't really doing anything. This is day like 6 or 7, flat out. That's mad, isn't it? 6 days, you can take a paddock and turn it into that. Incredible. 2 machines, 1 excavator and 1 dozer. Mad. So yeah, it looks like they're concentrating on doing the edges, and then we'll just fill in the rest wherever we need it. Obviously work our way out up the ramp, and we've got to level all this about. This is the stuff we took out the floor this morning. It's a bit damper. Sit rep, we've got enough clay in the pit now for what they want. So Rob and Rich are going to start taking some up to one of our fields on some off ground where we want some soil. Steve's just doing the final little shaping of the pit. Rob's been in already and rolled the base with the vibrating roller. Right, I've got to get out of here because I've got to move some furniture. My floors are being replaced tomorrow after the great flood of June 2025. Steve is just literally doing the last little bit of shaping in the pit with his dozer. Martin's moving topsoil again, so we are all go, ready to sign the thing off nearly, hopefully. I think tomorrow might be the last day they're going to be here. And we've got 1 pile of clay there left that Rich and Rob are currently running up to some off ground. Fill in a few holes, make a bank somewhere, and that'll be that pile gone. And that'll soon be project dirty water pit over and out. What the hell are we going to do with ourselves now? Won't be long till calving starts, we'll find something to do. Right, I'm going home. We'll catch up tomorrow. Well guys, it is the next day. I'm actually on holiday today, but I've been kicked out my house because we're having our floors relaid. So I thought I'd come and show you what is now essentially a finished product. Just look at this pit. Oh, perfect. It's all been vibrate rolled in the base like it needs to be. It's been tracked over as well. Rob's rolled the entire thing with the tractor. As you can see all the track marks up the sides, hopefully. That is all diggity-boo. And then our pipe that comes out the bank, they actually cut the end off. I think Rob's granddad put those in, and they're like old water pipes or old gas pipes underground or something. Anyway, cut the end off, and a twin wall coupler will fit on there. So we'll put that on there when the time comes to connect up to the new pit, and then we'll just lay lengths of twin wall pipe all the way across. It will come into this pit somewhere about here, I reckon. Yeah, I reckon I'm in line with that. Well, unless we move it somewhere, but it'll come into the pit here somewhere, and it's got that entire bowl to fill up. Steve's just in the background over there doing the final little pushes of some topsoil around. I don't actually know what Rob and Martin are doing. They're moving a bit of soil somewhere, whether it's just to fill up some gaps here, see this little pile there, or whether they're going to put a pile of soil there to fill that hole in. Once we've connected it all up, that might be what they're doing. Yeah, all go. There's a granite gate post just there. That makes the gateway quite tight coming in and out with tankers and various bits and pieces, so we decided the post is coming out. Did try to just put a strap around it and pull it, but it wasn't having any of it. So we've opted for digging a hole beside it. Try and give it a gentle nudge. Knowing Rob's granddad who put that in, I expect there's about 4 metres worth of concrete on the bottom of it. So it's not going to be an easy pull job, I don't expect. Anyway, Bob's also here. He's come back for another visit now that we've nearly finished. And he just wanted me to make a couple of points, which is good of him to notice actually. So the pit here, it's been rolled with the sheep's foot, the vibrating roller now, obviously when we finished. I think there was some footage somewhere of us rolling it with tractors and trailers that were loaded, which we have done before we put the sheep's foot roller on whilst we were doing trailer work. And Bob just wanted to make sure I mentioned that that is on his chart, which I'll put back up on the screen if I get myself out of shot here somewhere. Depending on what you're using to roll your pit, you have to do it X amount of times or with the correct weight or whatever. So we've rolled it with loaded tractors and trailers whilst we didn't have the roller on, and then we have rolled it all with the sheep's foot, the vibrating roller as well. So Bob just wanted me to mention that because I think he wants to use some of our footage to show potential new clients for Lagoon builds, which is absolutely fair enough. We're happy to help. There's the finished article. Something to behold, isn't it? It's going to have a capacity of somewhere around 1.2 million gallons, which is mental. Imagine trying to empty that with a tanker. That'll take you a few loads. Interestingly as well, obviously this isn't covered, and as it is, it will give us somewhere in the region of 6 months. I think it's 6.1 months of storage. But if we were to cover this, we would get nearly to 9 months, 8.8 months of storage, which is mental. I think a quarter of the capacity of this pit, on Bob's calculations, is going to be used by rainfall, which is a lot, isn't it? But we live in part of the country that gets more rainfall than the rest, so you've got to factor that in. That's where you get your extra sort of nearly 3 months of storage from, is not having the rainfall in there. I just can't wait for it to be filled. I want to see some water going in there. How are they getting on with this here post? Is that tree roots or the strap we can hear? I expect that's the base of that post now that's holding it in there. Hey! Eureka! How about that for a gate post? Pete Bullock, there's another one for you. Right guys, exciting day today. The day is here. The last little bit of footage you saw was a few days ago, before the weekend. It's now Tuesday, and this morning we're going to fill in the hole, we're going to join up the pipes, and our new pit will be working. So Martin's coming out to help us fill up the hole, obviously using his digger. We're going to load up some of that soil into the trailers and tip it in. But first, I need to suck out a little bit of liquid that is in what was left of our old ditch. We'll fill that in, join up some pipes. Before you know it, there'll be dirty water in the new dirty water pit. Right, we're filling up the hole. I sucked all the dirty water out earlier on. Now we're back filling it with all the clay we got left. And I'm doing a bit of buck raking with the telehandler. Morning, all right? Right, this is going pretty well, really. The challenge is going to be keeping it the right height for where the pipe needs to go. But we can always re-dig that in, which I think we probably will do. Making sure it's all nice and compact as well. Spread some nice thin layers like this and then just roll it all in. Anyone need a spare buck rake driver? Let me know. We're probably up to like the level of the pipe there really, but I think we'll fill the hole and then sort that out in a minute.
this side of it now. I've neglected this side for a few loads. I'm trying to fill up the corner where the pipe comes in because it's bound to be softer ground underneath there. Very easy just to push this into the corner and say, yep, done. But like I was saying earlier, the pipe has got to sit on this for the rest of time, so you've got to make it solid, otherwise you have no end of problems with pipe sagging and breaking and collapsing or whatever. Layer on like this, I think. I've got that expert buck rake flick.
He said, oh, we could leave the end of the pipe, you know, exposed just so you can see where it is.
Yeah.
So you can just go right around it as best you can. He said he can do it.
No, that's it. I'm trying to roll that corner in a bit because that's the softest bit, and I can't really. Oh, wait. Oh, the vibrating one. Oh. No, you can tip in the middle again. I just wanted to fill in this hole, and it's easier to push it in this hole rather than pull it back. That was all.
What, tip it up the end again?
Just tip it right in the middle somewhere, I bet, and I'll push it in that corner then. Thank you. I've got a bit of a hollow there I need to fill in. I'm just trying to get basically where the line of the pipe's going to go diagonally across. I need to get really, really firm. We have still got Martin's vibrating roller here, so whether we'll roll it with that one. So we'll just tip that there, and that'll fill that hollow in nicely. We'll keep just working our way back there. It's all go. Rob's going to miss the commissioning of the new pit. What a time to have a holiday. He's on there, is he? Put a donk on it. Get that soil out of there. Contamination. Hello! That's a genuine tool for that job, isn't it?
I think it must be. I think Martin bought it with it.
That's when you realise you bought perforated pipe.
Oh.
They come down to do it, have they?
Looks like it.
He said, when do you want us to do it? We'll come at night. Yeah, okay, come at night.
And the other one, this is night time.
They must have declined the overtime request. Let's have your donker. It's like it's made for that. Right, look at this. The pipe is in the pit. Richard's going to fill the whole trench in by hand, is he? He is some boy. Some boy. More? That'll be alright there, won't it? I'll hold it. Yep. Do you reckon he's coming bent off the end there? Look alright. I mean, they flex ever so much anyway, don't they?
They do flex a bit.
As long as it looks good on camera. Well, Abby's in the trench at the moment. Abby, you are structurally integral. You've got to stay there. Oh, I see. Yeah, where we put that first bit of soil. You might have crept underneath.
Yeah.
Right, we're quite happy with that. I think there's just an ever so slightly high place here where we put that first bit of soil, so might just dig that out and push the pipe down a bit. Other than that, he's perfect. Right along to the end. Martin's playing on the entrance to the pit. Do we want to cut the pipe closer to where he?
No. Well, I was just thinking we might put another 45 degree on there.
Say he'll erode a hole there after a minute.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. We sort of wanted to avoid that.
You ring Martin up and he'll come back and dig a bit out so we can put some concrete in. Still be able to see the floor for about 3 weeks, won't we? Get the tanker in.
No, leave a tap on, John.
Well, hey, look at this.
This is the first evening milking washout complete, and we have a little puddle on the floor of our pit. It's all running down here. This must be the lowest end, or the lowest point. Now it'll be a little while before we see any real volume of water down here. But this is just, it's actually one tank wash and one wash out of the parlour. And it's weird to see water in here. Right, so Martin's just finishing off a little bit of topsoil up there. Now this looks like it's washed already, but that's just all the dust that's in here, I think, settling out. We do need to do a little bit of fiddling around with the pipe. I'll go and show you that in a minute. But we are officially open for business in the new pit. It's supposed to be nice and hot and dry again for a few days, so this will all evaporate away, I expect, in the next 48 hours. But that is obviously not ideal at the moment. We need to cut the pipe off closer to the bank, and we're actually going to lay a bit of concrete there as well, so it's falling onto concrete, not onto the earth. That is not how to leave it. But Martin's graded all this off, so you'd never know we've been here. Topsoil was back on top. Just got to pick up our slurry pipe and our other bits and pieces out here, and that's job done. One project complete. Today is 2 weeks and 1 day from the day we started stripping topsoil over here. So that is mega. That is quick. From a bare field site to operational lagoon in 15 days. And 4 of those days have been weekends. So really 11 days. That is mad. That's absolutely mad. Oh, and we didn't do anything here yesterday. So it's 10 days. What an effort that is. That is something else. Anyway, you'll be glad to know that you'll be getting some footage from elsewhere for a little bit now. We got a couple other projects, or at least one of the projects we want to do now fairly soon. Before you know it, Carvin will be here as well. We're probably only, well, from when you're watching this, we'll be 3 weeks away, so no time at all really. And yeah, we'll see what else we get up to. But thank you very much for following along with the lagoon build. I'm not sure there'll be another project of this scale anytime soon, so I'm glad we got to document it so well. I know Bob's glad we did as well. Massive thank you to Martin in the digger, and Steve who was on the dozer, and Bob for all allowing me to stick a camera in their face whilst we've been doing this, because probably don't get that many places. But yeah, the lagoon project over and out. See you on the next one.